Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coach Playbook with Paul LaPolice, your home for elite CFL breakdown analysis. Okay, so this week I'm doing the Elks Hamilton game. So I've been watching Elks film the last 2 days. So obviously we wanted to take a look at how great the Riders defense was. And that's what this playbook's going to be about, the Riders defense, some of the things they did with their pass rush skills. Talented group. Micah Johnson's playing at an elite level for an older guy. Shane Ray was amazing. Malik Carney, bunch of guys had sacks. Obviously, the Elks had 8 sacks. Kind of go through and show what the Riders did and some of the things the Elks did. All those sacks aren't always on the. Sometimes it's on at second and extra, and you got no chance because everybody's dropping in coverage, nobody's open, and they're rushing the passer, and sometimes quarterback holding the football. So we go through about 12 plays of last week's game and show how good things that the Riders defense did. So let's open the playbook on the Riders D versus the Elks. Okay, this first example it's not always the offensive line. Sometimes it's the quarterback's decision making. So this is a scramble by Cody that isn't a sack, but it doesn't get a first down. It's 2nd and 6. But I want to show you what they're running from a pattern concept. They have a hit, a corner with 2 hitches, which is a common route in the CFL. So when they play zone, like Saskatchewan's doing, they're going to leave an area underneath covered. These 2 are over the top of the corner route. You have one player inside. You have this player wide open, and more importantly, that player is wide open. This is what's called a half-through corner read. So the corner's high, the half's inside, you throw outside. And Cody's at the top of his drop. He sees this. If he just throws the ball now instead of taking off and running, there's your first down. So sometimes the quarterback's not making decisions or pre-snap decisions. Right here, some quarterbacks are going to change their drop and just throw this. It's okay. He's still got enough time, right, to climb, to take his drop, and then throw that football. But it looks like, they're running for their life, this or that. And I see what he sees. He sees this big space. But on 2nd and 6, just take the throw. The line does a good enough job pushing this, and he just feels all this space and takes off. So sometimes that's a disadvantage because those guys are fast and they're coming to you. Like Malik Carney just follows him, runs him down. This is now they don't convert. So the best thing he could have done is throw the ball earlier. Here's one of the earlier sacks in the game. And again, there is great push on the offensive line, but it's also the quarterback holding the football and having nowhere to go. So you have to, it's 2 sides to every story. So the O-line did not do great, but watch what happens. You're going to have a slant, a fake bubble screen, and a go. And what happens is, these guys switch. He took the inside one. He took the outside one. So Cody now holds this football because he has nowhere to go because both guys are covered. You would like, as these guys separate and he goes in and he goes out, to have another route there, and then he could throw that. But they went with a vertical route. So now he just feels this pass rush. And again, when this is a run-pass option, nobody's pass setting. They're blocking at the line of scrimmage. Corday gets pushed by Micah. You can see right here, Micah Johnson gets his hands on and basically bench presses Corday back. But it's because Cody is standing. He's not getting much of a drop because this is an RPO. So he feels this, and he doesn't feel there's any place to throw, and that causes the sack. Little bit of zone pressure from the Riders, trying to do some confusion. Show you what's difficult sometimes. You can see the O-line right now. They're making a signal. This is their protection scheme, how they're handling it, or they're IDing what this front is. There is everybody covered plus a 6th player. So you can see Leak is looking around. He's having vision, and he's looking outside. So I assume the line said they're going to take these people, and Leak is going this way. Those 2 are on those 2. Because actually this player blitzes and Leak stays front side. So unless Leak is watching that he drops, the line can take him. Now I go front side. That's a thing I would be doing. I would teach, hey, if you know he drops and he comes, you don't have to be backside. The line can take those three. So there's a lot of math that goes on here. So technically, if he came, Leak would have to go back here. And hopefully that's built. But what I would build is if I see this player dropping and he comes, I know these three can take those three. Now I'm going to take anybody coming this way. And that kind of looks like I think what they're doing. So in my head, I think David Beard is part of these three guys coming back this way. So David's here. He goes and smashes that, which is good. Like it happened a little bit sooner. But then McKellar turns and he leaves the linebacker, Allen. So now Allen gets through there clean. So there's just a lot of math that's got to go on sometimes. What should be happening is he's right here. He's right here. He's got his left hand on him, and he's waiting for Allen. And the right tackle's on the outside one. But not great hands by Boyko. And again, there's a collision. This is not a sack, but it's a collision. But I just wanted to show there's a lot of math going on here. The Riders are doing an excellent job of kind of disguise what's happening. Riders did a lot of five-man rush, and it was to their advantage. This is Cody doesn't really have anything to do here except he's going to get a loss. So you can see David Beard and everybody signaling what they're doing. Okay, that looks like a closed fist to me. Okay, they're probably saying, I'm on him, you're on him, you're on him, you're out, you're out. That's what I think is happening. And that would put Rankin on the deep player. Yep, that's what happens. That's what's called a solid. So these guys are all solid. And Rankin has anybody else. And you noticed the Elks brought in a second protector. But what happens is Mark Corday gives up too much space on the three technique. So he gives up an inside move. He doesn't want to move that right plant foot. So he's want to have more inside position, be stronger on the inside. He does a good job recovering. Watch what he does right here. Puts his foot in the ground, just turns and runs him. But Ivy gets a speed rush going by. As Cody tries to climb the pocket, he's in trouble because the depth of the pocket gets crushed. And what happens is Micah Johnson's in a one-on-one. He's in a one-on-one. McKellar and Cordy's on a one-on-one. Somebody's going to win their one-on-one battle. And right here, David Beard gets beat by Micah. And he shows up right there to get a chance on the quarterback. Quarterback scrambles out, but the quarterback's going to run when he sees this type of pressure. This is right before the half, and this is in field goal range. You cannot take this sack. And I put this on Cody. This is not a good decision by Cody. And I'll show you from the end zone. Now, there's a whiff at the front side, but even with two whiffs, I don't know if anything's going to happen. Now, I'll show you one more thing. This is a zone read where there are routes attached. So there's a guy in the flat, there's a guy sitting down, there's a guy on a wheel route. So you got a vertical, a wheel, a guy in the flat, and a guy outside. So who does he have open? Right there. That's his throw. So if he's going to take this, we've outflanked the defense, throw the football. That's what has to happen. You cannot hold the football. Now, there's a guy in his throwing lane. And that's why I think this is a mistake by Cody, especially knowing you're close to field goal range. So this is a zone read play. He's going to block out. He's going to block out. These two will block those two. He's going to work inside, and they're going to read the end. So I'm sorry. I think they're going to go this way. Boom, because there's the linebacker. These two are going to go to those two. And then that's our zone read. But watch how wide he is. He's already wide, and on the snap, he's still a wide football player. So in your reading, when you tell the quarterback, does that shoulder come down fast? I would call that a slow squeeze, and the ball has to be handed off. Because if you're wrong, this guy's going to get in the throwing lane. Look if he hands this ball off. Boom, right up there. It's a huge gain. Even with at the front side. Gregor McKellar whiffs at the point of attack. Boyko whiffs at the point of attack. But the ball's never going to hit there. The ball is going to hit right there. And Shane Ray's going to have to try to come in and make this tackle. And he's not. He's not going to be able to get that. So the ball should have gone to Rankin here. So this is just a bad decision by Cody. And then he's like, I can't outflank. You better throw the outflank if that happens. And now here comes a cavalry going to sack him. And this is awful because it takes him out of field goal range. I like this blitz by the Riders. Play action pass, 1st and 10. CJ Revis on the blitz. This is difficult to handle as a play action pass. Can it be handled? Yes, but it's not easy. So this is a tough go, but good scheming by the Riders. So they're Jameer Thurman, CJ Revis is going to come in. Okay, you're going to have 1, 2, 3. Okay, and again, the hard part is they're coming back to where the quarterback play action is. So what's going to happen is he's going to block him, he's going to block him, he's got him, he's got him, he's got him, he's got him. So we're picked up, except for CJ Revis. And now CJ Revis is going to blow through this, what's called the B gap. The Javon Leak has to see that and leave, and you say F the fake, forget the fake, or another word. And then you can see him trying to get back there. Now, Boyko is, I don't know if he understands the protection, or I don't know if their rule is to take the inside threat. So normally he would stay on the big and Leak would disengage and take this one. So now Boyko says, well, that guy's a threat earlier. I'm going to take him. I'm going to leave the end. Now Leak has to adjust and figure it out and get to there. So it might have been better if Boyko stays on his man and Leak just disengages, and then you've got a fighting chance to get the ball out. But now Leak's in no position to get this one. So, again, I don't know what their scheme is, what they teach, whether he has to go to this one. He takes that one. Leak tries to get this one, and then Cody's got a chance. But it's really hard because Thurman does a good job on McKellar. And good run blitz on 1st and 10. Riders D was great against a run last week. Again, another run blitz you'll see. Stop for a negative yardage gain. So this is what most people call a gap scheme. This is and what that means is he has this gap, he has this gap, he has this gap. He's going to kick out and create a new gap. He's going to follow and try to get up on the linebacker. So in these gap schemes, you leave 2. He's going to step and hinge. What I mean by that, you leave this player for the fullback. You leave this player for the puller, and everybody else handles everybody else. So what happens is McKellar, he misses Micah Johnson, and that starts all the problems. Like if he stays on the upfield shoulder of Micah, gets him, this one is handled. Okay, this is good by the right guard. He leaves him to be the outside because you always leave 2. He goes here, fullback kicks out, and then you would get the guard would pull around and kick out whatever shows up here. But because McKellar misses his block, we lose the guard. Now on the backside, this is called the gap scheme. So he has to step into his gap. And seeing that they're running a player into the inside gap, Milligan, I would just stay right there. Especially when they had somebody helping block as a slot. Not that he's doing a great job. He ends up tripping off Ivy. But just a lot of pressure here from the backside of this run is what hurt this power play and missing on the front side block on Micah Johnson. Part of the issues for the offensive line and the strength of the Riders last week is what they did on first down. It is 2nd and 16. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in coverage. And they got 4 guys, and they can do all their best pass rush schemes now because it's 2nd and 15, ball's got to be thrown. So it's very difficult for an offensive line and a quarterback to survive 2nd and extra when you have to throw the ball. And you can see that right here. Big sack here. So protection isn't an issue. This is a 4-man slide. So 1, 2, 3. Now, Boyko, because it is a slide, can really try to help himself. He can really overset. But as you see, Carney does a speed rush, goes right by. As Cody takes a deeper drop, all right, you would like Boyko to keep his shoulders square longer and keep retreating so he has to take a longer hump. Once he turns his shoulders, it's going to be a tighter turn. And Cody has no time to climb the pocket. So you'd like a little bit more what you call a vertical set to force him around. But what's most important here is it's 2nd and 15, and everybody in the stadium knows you're throwing the football. You can't be in 2nd and 15. A lot of depth here. Can he get the ball out of his hands right here? Does he have time? Like, all these linebackers got depth. He's trying to throw this post in the middle of the field. But he's now starting to feel this pressure. This is later in the game. We'll see what happens from a pressure standpoint. Get beat on a twist. So what a twist is he's going to run up into here, and he's going to force him to turn. And Ray's going to run up here to force him to start to turn. And you usually do these twists on the man side of the protection. What I mean by that is those 3 are sliding together because the back's on this side. Okay, they work a zone. These guys are in man. And you always do the twist to the man side, or you'd like to. So when McKellar turns his shoulders totally, he leaves him open to this. So he has to recognize that this is no longer a pass rush. He's trying to twist me and turn my shoulders. He's got to keep his shoulders square so he doesn't miss on Ray right here. All right. And the other thing I would love is Boyko really sees how wide he is. Let him stay out there. Boyko could help by vertically setting this 3 technique. And what I mean by that, just stay here. Just stay. If that guy wants to play that wide, let him play that wide, and you just keep retreating. That would help a little bit. But really, you got it. That he could give a presence to Sanders, because who cares if Ray's this far outside? But then the twist happens. It's excellent by the Riders, and Ray gets in there. 18 seconds left, end of the game. This is where, sacks add up because you have to throw the football. So 18 seconds left, 1st and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people at the line of scrimmage. Take one of these throws, start the drive. You're not going to get this throw. They've got everybody in zone. So Cody's just got to get the ball out of his hands. And I know you got a long way to go, but call what the play's called, execute it the way it is. Because you're not, the longer you hold the ball, the worse it's going to get. And what this means, let me show you the signal. So I believe they're sliding these 3. He's big on big. And the back's looking for any second-level player. And I thought the Riders did a good job of getting their hands on. So here's a twist. Micah Johnson coming behind. Passed off pretty well. But Carney does a good job getting underneath Gregor McKellar's pads. And then he just drives into Cody. And as Cody starts to scramble, Shane Ray, he dents the pocket, and then he recovers back inside. Watch him just throw right there. So this is top-notch play. This is very difficult to overcome. The last play of the game. Got to throw the ball when this stuff happens at the end of the game, or else you're going to get a sack. He's trying to take a shot downfield. Now everybody knows, all right, let's just As he starts to scramble, as this protection breaks down, as you watch, Micah was excellent with his hands, coming in, showing up. Cody starts to feel it. Carney's pushed dent in the pocket. Now he starts to scramble and spin around. He's got no place to go. Great week for the Riders' defensive line.